This is a live Channels Television event.
Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria wishes to welcome every one of you to this very important event, the unveiling of the new code for corporate governance, the Nigerian capital market. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this live event on Channels Television. Please give yourselves a round of applause. On behalf of the Commission, we have the pleasure to introduce a panel of discussants who will put forward a new beginning for the Nigerian capital market. This very important event is the outcome of the submission in December last year of the new code of corporate governance. We have the pleasure right now to welcome the distinguished panelists and those who will give discussions at this event. And I would like to introduce very quickly, beginning with the chairman of the Commission, Senator Udo Udoma. Please give him a round of applause. Senator Udo Udoma will give the opening remarks, and of course, immediately after that, the keynote address of this event by Nigeria's one-time ambassador to the United Kingdom and a one-time chairman of Cadbury Nigeria PLC, Dr. Christopher Kolade. The chief host of this event, and of course, the chief hostess, if you want to put it that way, the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Ms. Aroma Ote. And members of the panel who will be discussing various aspects of this new code of corporate governance in Nigeria with you include Dr. Abdullahi Mohammed, a senior advocate of Nigeria and an order officer of the Niger and member of the Chartered Institute of Accountants. Dr. Abdullahi Mohammed, please. Also on the panel, Ms. Benedicta Moloko, a member of the Board of Directors of Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation and a member of the Institute of Directors. Please welcome Ms. Moloko. Also on the panel this afternoon is one of the captains of Nigeria's quoted companies, the chairman of Nestle Nigeria PLC, Dr. Olusegun Osunkaye OON. And another captain of industry, someone who will benefit from his experience, the chairman of the Vision 2020 Committee on Corporate Governance, Dr. Olushola Dada MFR. Also on the panel this afternoon, Patricia Adedipe, who is the head of investment at Chevron Texaco Pension Fund. Welcome, Ms. Adedipe. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the stage is now set for the opening remarks of this event, the SEC's Corporate Governance Roundtable by the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Senator Udo Udoma. Please welcome him to the podium.
The Director General of SEC, other board members here present, our distinguished panelists, capital market operators, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome. It gives me very great pleasure to address you at this roundtable on corporate governance, and during which I will also formally launch the new Code of Corporate Governance. You may all recall that at the inauguration of our board, we were charged by government with the task of restoring public confidence in the Nigerian capital market, as well as repositioning the market to be the leading market in Africa. In order to do this, we constituted two committees. The first one was to carry out a comprehensive review of the market structure and processes. This was chaired by Mr. Dotun Sulaiman and included other distinguished Nigerians from both within Nigeria and from the diaspora, among whom was the current Minister of Finance, Mr. Segun Aganga. The implementation of the Market Structure Committee report has since commenced with the issuance of new rules to strengthen market processes and various reforms undertaken by the Commission to restore investor confidence. I am sure you are all aware of the steps we are currently taking to bring the stock exchange to the highest international standards, as demonstrated by the transparent processes that we insisted that the Council must utilize in the recruitment of new management. The second of the two committees was headed by the highly respected SAN, A.B. Mahmood Esquire, and it was given the task of carrying out the review of the 2003 Code of Corporate Governance. As you're all aware, it's international best practice to review corporate governance codes from time to time. I'm sure even this one will be reviewed in future. But in Nigeria, it became particularly important because of some of the unethical practices that were revealed in the administration of some companies. The proposals of the A.B. Mahmood Committee were deliberated upon by the board of SEC and exposed to the general public for comments and suggestions. A few modifications were introduced in the light of these comments and suggestions. But I must register the appreciation of SEC to Mr. A.B. Mahmood. I think he's here. And all the members of the committee, many of whom are here. I would like to register the appreciation of SEC for a work very well done. I must also thank all those persons, including lawyers, accountants, stockbrokers, company directors, investment analysts, journalists, etc., who made very good suggestions and contributions in assisting us in developing this code of corporate governance. SEC is grateful to all of you. The new code is formulated to guide public companies in the conduct of their affairs. Whilst the application of the new code is limited to public companies, other companies are encouraged to use the principles set out in the code to guide their own activities. We were particularly careful to ensure that the code does not inhibit enterprise. Whilst the code sets out best practices, it allows companies to determine which one best suits them. Take, for instance, the issue of committees. Whilst the code prescribes and describes the sort of committees which companies should have, it leaves to the board of such companies the power to determine which ones and how many they need for their particular business, because it is clear that one size does not fit all. The code has also left companies to decide the size of their boards. There is no maximum prescribed, only a minimum, which is 5. I must emphasize that the code generally avoids any attempt to regiment company administration. Some of the problems that we have seen in companies have been related to the weaknesses of boards. SEC was therefore very happy to see that the members of the A.B. Mahmood Committee were concerned to define very clearly the roles and responsibilities of the various agents that make up a company. What is the role of the chairman, the chief executive, the non-executive director, the executive directors, and the company secretary? The code sets out the expectations and responsibilities of all these positions. The code also makes it mandatory that companies provide appropriate training to all board members so that they can familiarize themselves with their responsibilities. And to ensure that board members can discharge their functions well, the code requires, amongst other things, that boards must receive all board papers at least 7 days before the board meeting. We don't want rubber stamp boards. It also puts additional responsibility on the CEO and the finance director to certify to the board the accuracy and reliability of the financial reports presented to the board. In our view, a good code must seek to ensure that companies are run in a transparent manner where accurate and reliable information is available to all stakeholders to enable them make informed decisions. It is for this reason that the code requires, among other things, that auditors must be changed after a certain number of years to discourage collusion between management and the auditors. Finally, a unique feature of this new code is the reporting requirement. Companies are required to set out in their annual report a corporate governance report detailing the manner they are complying with this code. In this way, investors have access to this information, and shareholders can challenge boards from a position of knowledge. Where there is a dispute as to whether a company is in compliance with the code, such a dispute can be referred to SEC for resolution. We hope that with the implementation of this code, members of the public will be able to differentiate the best-run companies from companies that are not as well run. The best-run companies should then attract a premium over the others. I'm therefore delighted to formally present and launch this code of corporate governance on behalf of SEC. Now, what we've decided to do to move with the times is you have it in the CD disc. So this is what we decided to do to move with the times. And they will be distributed to everybody immediately after this launching. It is my hope that this new code will ensure the highest standards of transparency and accountability without unduly inhibiting enterprise and innovation. I look forward to listening to views from the eminent panel on how best to implement the code. Thank you very much for your attention.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will now all listen to a keynote address of this event entitled Corporate Governance and the Essence of Regulation by Codes, to be delivered by Nigeria's former ambassador to the United Kingdom, Dr. Christopher Kolade, and a one-time chairman of Cadbury Nigeria PLC. Please welcome Dr. Kolade, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and I wish to say thank you also to the chairman of SEC and the DG and all members of the board for giving me the opportunity of making this presentation here this morning as a keynote address. A keynote needs to be as brief as possible because I have not seen any large keys for opening small doors. So this is going to be a brief address, and I hope that I can find a file on this system. If I can have some help for discovering where the file is.